And what was the third thing that they said it was bad about me? Oh, I couldn't field. I was a bad fielder. And I made 50 years in Carolina League, 1973. Even though I hit over 290, they came to me and said, Pryor, we can't field. You have no power and you're slow, but you can hit a little bit. We don't know what we're going to do with you. And I'm thinking, oh, it's a bad scouting report. So what I did was, what all of us should do each day is to wake up and try to get better. You know, you can. We all can. We have to look for ways to get better. And I do that today. I'll be 74 October 2nd, and I'm not going to slow down. I'm involved in a lot of things, and it's not like I'm taking up a lot of time that would be useful, Paul, but it was nice to come here because we have so much in common. We live here, and we love the FW. We love what that stands for. And there's a lot of people that you're helping that would like to be here tonight. And I'm talking to all of them. I'm thinking that the whole room is packed. It's packed in my mind, you know, because you help one person, you've helped 100 or more. Okay? So I had to get better. I had to get better at my fielding because when I was 19, I was playing summer ball in Virginia, in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And I was a college kid, and I dove out to my left, and this bone came out and popped down here, was out of place for 45 minutes. And I wasn't a league pro, I was just playing college, and 3 weeks after the doctor was attending to me, he looked at me, he goes, son, I have to tell you something. He goes, I put electric shock on your shoulder, and you don't feel it, do you? I said, no. He goes, you've torn the nerves. The nerves control the muscles, and you have no feeling. You'll have to put your hand in your waist or in a sling the rest of your life. I'm sorry. And you know, nobody was there with me. You know, I was by myself, and I started thinking, how am I going to play golf one-handed? You know, I started thinking that because I couldn't imagine not playing golf. Baseball, yes, because baseball wasn't as easy as golf was to me. I love golf. So anyway, guess what? Guess what? So my point to tell you a quick story, the shoulder got better only because I think that I willed it to get better as part of my therapy. I willed it to get better. I had to. I said, listen, you can get better. You can heal. Those things can get better. Well, I lost a couple of muscles in the front and the back, but guess what? It didn't stop me. I had to learn how to hit again. If I show you enough slides here, you'll see me hitting in college versus pro, and I had to change my swing. If it ain't working, change it. I wish I could go to the Royals batters and say, change it. With 2 strikes, what are you thinking? You know? With 2 strikes, why don't you just try to get on base? Throw your bat at it. Try to get hit by the ball. Anything. And Max, you know this as well as anybody. It's another era of baseball that we have trouble with because we don't like to see strikeouts. It's too easy to score. You're stealing the money. You might even have to roll a base or a hit on a strikeout. Anyway, that I got over that shoulder, and that was certainly a fear of losing a shoulder. But the time that I really want to share with you, and I'll end it, I think, unless you have questions, is that I worked so hard to get to the big leagues, even the major league camp. And I was in 3 major league camps with Billy Martin. I was in the 73 camp. I was in the 74 camp in Pompano Beach, Texas Rangers, he was managing, and the 75 camp. I was in both camps. Well, 75 camp, he comes up to me. You know, Billy Martin is the one that played for the old Yankees, pretty famous guy. He comes up to me and he goes, Pryor, we're going to send you back to the minor league camp. He says, but I'm coming for an infielder, and I'm coming for you, so be ready. If I need one, you're my man. I'm thinking, oh, I'm close. I'm close. All this suffering, these blisters, and all these sore muscles, and all this pain and suffering I've been through. Billy Martin's going to want me, right? So I go to minor league camp at Plant City, Florida, walk into the farm director, and I'm listening to Bachman Turner Overdrive on the way there. I'm all full of vigor, man. I'm ready to go. And he goes, Pryor, he goes, you'll be reporting to the Pittsfield team tomorrow. I said, Pittsfield, that's AA, right? He says, yeah, you're the Joe Klein, yeah. He said, the AAA manager's already picked his shortstop. That's not you. I said, what? I said, Billy Martin just told me I'm coming to the big leagues. I can't be going to the big leagues from AA. They call people off from AAA. I need to go to AAA. I'm going to AAA. He goes, Billy Martin didn't run his camp. I run his camp. You're the AAA manager. Don't want you. Joe's going to take you to Pittsfield. You're going to play in the frozen tundra of Western Mass the whole month of April and May. You're going to freeze your butt off. You're going to wish you never played baseball. So, what would you do? You know what I said to him? I quit. I turned around, I walked out, I went out and got my car, and I drove to Orlando. That's where I was living with my parents. I went down to the basement of my parents' house, and you know what they said to me? Hey, Greg, you gave it a good shot. I think that's the worst thing they've ever said to me, really, because I didn't want to hear that. I wasn't ready to quit. It was pride and ego. So I called him back up. I said, I tell you what, I'll come back. And I said, I got a split contract. I want to get $800 a month for AA and $1,000 for AAA. Can you at least give me the $1,000 in AA? Nope. You signed a split contract. You get $800 for AAA and $800 for AA, $1,000 for AAA. So I lost all my chances. I went back, and here I am talking to you about playing 10 years in the big leagues, okay? So I took my pride, stick it away. It ain't working for us. Stick it away. And don't ruin the good things that are just up the bed. I don't care if it's tomorrow, or a month, or a year, or in heaven. I don't care. Your treasures are not here. But mine were in baseball. So I ended up going up there and freezing. Now, one thing about forgiveness. When I got to big leagues, one of my managers was Bob Lemon, who was a Hall of Fame manager. He's a great Hall of Fame pitcher, Bob Lemon. And I was so excited to play for Bob Lemon at 78 in Comiskey Park, where the first All-Star game was in 1933, I think, 1933. And all the guys were there. You know, I love seeing old pictures of the All-Star game there, because when I got up to home plate, I knew this. That I was there, and Babe Ruth was right over there in 1933. Lou Gehrig was right over there in 1933 when I got up to home plate in Comiskey Park. I'm thinking, wow, this is... But, unfortunately, I was a minor league player trying to make it in the big leagues. This was my first year. I was a rookie at age 29. It took me till 29 to get to the big leagues to be a rookie. And that doesn't happen too often. So, one night we're playing Baltimore. I'm playing shortstop, and I get 2 ground balls hit right at me. And I missed them both, and 5 runs scored, and we lost the game by 5. And I was about as low as I've been since I had to go to Pittsfield. It wasn't a good night. Why? Because every ball player lives and dies by his performance in that game. And you can make yourself feel better, or you can make the fans not want to come back. So I'm in that clubhouse, walking around knowing that I'm the big goat. Bob Lemon walked up to me. He put his arm around me with his nice nature that he had. And he looked at me and goes, Pryor, you're in there tomorrow. Go get him. You're back in there tomorrow. That's all it took. That's all it took. Who can we encourage to make a difference in somebody's life right now? There's so many people we can do that to. And it's easy. Bob Lemon putting his arm around he might have been cussing me underneath his breath. But what's that difference? Is that me? No. But what he did for me was give me a new lease on my baseball career, because he forgave me in my head. He forgave me. I went out the next night and I played for 10 more years. And it's what it took. I think I would have been crushed had he not said that to me. I would have been so scared to make another error, because you can't be afraid to mess up. You are going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. But that forgiveness is what drove me to show him that I was better than what I did. I showed Bob because, look at my baseball cards. Anyway, I have a list of the managers that I've had in my career. All these are professionals too, A couple of them that you might recognize is Louis Aparicio. You ever heard of him? I played for him in Venezuela in 1977. He managed in Maracaibo. I just signed with the White Sox for quite a bit of money. And the Venezuelan league called me and he said, Pryor, would you like to play in Maracaibo? It sounded like paradise to me at $5,000 a month. I said, yeah, I'll be down there in 2 days. So I went down there and played for Louis. And I played for Pete Ward, who was a famous third baseman for the White Sox in Syracuse. Felipe Alou, one of the Alou brothers. I played for him in the Caribbean World Series in Mazatlan at the end of the '77 season. Larry Doby, remember Larry Doby? He was manager of the White Sox. Don Kessinger was my player manager. He played short as the manager and I played second. Now, well, how would you like to play right next to your manager? It was not easy. It was not easy. But I'll just say this about Don Kessinger for any Cubs fans here. Don Kessinger was the first big leaguer that I got around that had like gold chips all over his body that were falling off every time he moved because he was a master infielder. People say, oh, he didn't hit for any power. Who cares? Don Kessinger was what you wanted as a shortstop, everything you want. He was a good guy, and I loved playing for him. And then La Russa, I played for Tony La Russa, and his first big league win in Toronto, La Russa. La Russa went on to win, was it the third most games in history, Max? Oh, I thought you knew everything. No. I think Tony La Russa went on to win the third most games in the history of baseball, and I played in his first big league win. But I looked the other day, and I saw that I was in the first game that he ever got kicked out of, too. Don't ask me, what do you do during the day? Put stats up? No. That's the first time I've seen that. I saw the whole list of how many times he's been thrown out of a game, and I looked at the first one, and I looked at the box score online, and yep, I was in that game. So that's not a claim to fame, it's just a claim. You know? So anyway, let's show you a real quick, a couple more slides, and then nobody's going to sleep yet. Just keep going forward. There's Little League. I played Little League in Akron, Ohio. That's me there. That's Mr. Callahan. He was the grandpa of one of the kids, and his wife made the best chicken and French fries I ever had in my life. That's me hitting in college. See how my legs back like that? I lean back, and I was on the end of the bat. That didn't stay with me long until I got to college. There's where I signed right there with the Washington Senators. Remember them, Washington Senators? Wore number 42 with the Yankees. This guy fired me 3 times. This guy here, Steinbrenner, George Steinbrenner, he offered me a 2-year contract in the Yankee Stadium when I was with the Yankees, and I said, sir, I can't sign a contract. He goes, why not? I said, where am I going to play? You got Greg Nettles, you got Bucky Dent, and you got Willie Randolph. I said, where am I going to play? He goes, oh, we got plans for you, Pryor. I said, yeah, riding on a bus back and forth to minor leagues. And he said, if you don't sign this contract, Pryor, you're going to go to the top of my dumbass list. And it's in my book, if you want to get my book. I wrote a chapter on it in my book. That's when I played Venezuela. We were called the Zulia, that's Zulia Eagles. That's Aguilas de Zulia. And that's a baseball card. This is a disco demolition in Chicago. I played right there is where they went. That's the same field as that, because they blew up disco music in '79 on that night, July 12th. They collected disco records and they stuck it behind second base and they blew them up between games of the doubleheader. It was a rock and roll promotion. The place was full of 44,000 rock and roll fans. There were 20,000 outside waiting to get in, and they closed the gates. They wouldn't let them in. They rioted when they blew the records up. The fans rioted, came on the field, and you can go online and look at that. They have videos of that. I was at shortstop and I'm watching. It's 44,000. It's kind of a cool experience, especially when they cared nothing about baseball. Disco Sox was reaming through this thing. But that's old Comiskey Park there. That's the old stadium. I set that off thing a few times. That's another part of you see our uniforms. We wore white. A lot of people make fun of this uniform, but I look at it now and I feel like I'm a stud. We wore the shirts out, and we had no socks, and it was, it was easy to put on. Then, guess what? I had to go back and play Comiskey as an opponent, which was weird, going back and playing against my friends. This is a Pine Tar game. I was in the Pine Tar game. I played the third base of the Pine Tar game when we finished. And there's a box score of the Pine Tar game, and you'll see the Pryor's right here. And this was on the back of T-shirts that were made by Gaylord Perry, and he sold them in the clubhouse for $12 a piece. He had them lined up on his arm. 2-time Cy Young winner selling T-shirts in the clubhouse. Can you imagine him doing it now? Yeah. But I have 3 of those left. Anybody like one? No. About the bat tonight, I want to show you this bat. This bat, I was on the bench in '86 next to George Brett, and he goes, Pryor, you have a bat that feels good? He was playing, I wasn't playing, and I said, yeah, I got a bat. It's dark, but it's got tape on the handle. It's down there. So he's up there getting loose with it because he was hitting crappy, and he was asking anybody for a bat, right? So he went up and got a base hit with it, and I didn't know this. When he got first base, he's tipping his helmet to the stands because it was his 2000 hit. And I'm thinking, oh, he used my bat on the 2000 hit. That is so cool, yes. So I go down and looked at the bat. It was broke. They put it in the garbage can. Well, after the game, the bat was still sitting there. I walked up to his locker. I said, George, this is 10 years of 200 hits. Nobody in here has ever come close, you know. And he goes, I said, save this for your wife or your kids. He goes, I ain't getting married and I ain't having no kids. I said, sign it to me. He goes, go get a gold pen. So if you want to come up and look at it, it says 2000 hit George Brett. And before I put it, that's also in my book. And before you, think that that's made up, I sent that letter. I sent that story to him so he would verify it, because I didn't want to print something in my book that was like, no, you liar. So he says, that's okay, Pryor. Go ahead and print it just the way you wrote it. So that was kind of fun. Then I've got. I didn't do much collecting, but this one I still got a hold of. This is running out there to get ready to celebrate the World Series win. You know, Lonnie Smith, Porta, McRae, Pryor Awards. The reason why these guys are here is because the Scarbinis are always last into the crowd. You know, we're last. The studs are over here. The guys that won the game. But this is this artist did this one, and if you they were some limited editions of this picture. You'll see the catcher right here. That's Jim Sundberg. He's leaping up on top of Alboni right here. Saberhagen and George, Sundberg's right here. Well, if you go over here and look really close, Sundberg's got his catcher's thing and his shin guards right here. He's in the picture 2 times. That's my ring. If you don't get a chance to see it close up, they got the trophy in the Royals. And I don't have any complaints about that ring. It's big enough for me. You know, they're making a big now, but I don't want the big one. In fact, I saw the former owner of the Royals, Glass. He was pulling into the stadium and he was getting out of his car, and I was sitting there and I was waiting for him. And I said, Mr. Glass, Greg Pryor, former player. I said, yeah, Greg, I know you. And he goes, Mr. Glass, can I trade my ring in for a bigger one? He goes, oh, your ring is fine. We go to the White House. We weren't rested up yet, but we were all sleepy-eyed, and that was kind of fun with Reagan and Bush was sitting there. There's my dad. He got to the World Series from all the way from Orlando. He's probably the proudest dad in the world. And my wife of 44 years, Michelle. And my 2 grandkids, I'm heading to California Sunday to go see them. That's my family. I got 3 daughters that all went through KU. I already told you that. And this is my company. I've been doing this since 1995, and we're still going after it. You're welcome to go visit my website. This is a pass that they give to ball players that play long enough. I get to be in every major league ballpark. I only use it one time, but I use it in Boston. I didn't only try it one time. I use it in Boston. And we had 2 tickets. I walked up to the lady. I said, I just handed her. She says, go on in. And my buddy was so impressed. He just like walking in the stadium, Fenway Park. And he goes, where are we going to sit? Like a good idea. Where are we going to sit? So I go to the usher behind home plate. And I said, sir, I've been coming in here for years and years and years. This is my first time to sit in the stands. Where can I sit? He goes, sit right in the front row down there. I got front row seats. But it doesn't get me out of any traffic tickets. Free pass to VFW. And I say there are only two seasons, winter and baseball. And then when kids write to me, I send this card back to them with tips on how to be a better player. Attitude is everything, you know. And I wrote these out very quickly. It didn't take me long because when you do it long enough, it just becomes subconscious. Your subconscious takes over. Any of you play an instrument in here? Any instrument players? I mean, it's so nice that you have that as your talent. And your subconscious lets you do it better if you practice. Anyway,